Hello guys, my name is Alex Gomez and welcome to my channel. On today's video we're gonna be sculpting future trunks. One of my favorite characters from the Dragon Ball Z saga. I really enjoy this doing this sculpting. So as always I start with a simple sphere. I give the shape of the head, then I kind of like draw a little bit of where I think the eyes and the mouth and the nose is gonna go. Then I kind of like start sculpting or blocking out a little bit where the more pronounced features of the character are gonna be. For example, in this case it's gonna be that part of the eyebrow, and kind of like I detail a little bit more. Then I keep going and try to add not details, but try to add like a traces of where the mouth goes, where the eyes goes as well. Without getting into too much detail. Sometimes I make the mistake and then Dynamesh and trying to polish a little bit and I lose the detail, but I'll do it again. I just want to kind of like make sure that what I'm doing is proportionate of what I'm seeing in these cases. Yeah, for the eyes, for example, I just used a cylinder, and in the cylinder I just used the bend curve tool that I have used a lot, and I tell you guys to use it. It's amazing, and I use it a lot for this case like that. I duplicate and I make the eye, so kind of like the eye follows the same shape of the white part. Then I duplicate and scale it down, but in that case, because it's already bended, I don't need to scale it. I start adding some poly paint to my sculpt just to have a better sense of what I'm doing and have a better sense of proportions. When I'm sculpting the ears, I always put the ears as a separate subtool. I like to do that so I can just not interfere with my other things, and then when I'm happy with the ears, I just Dynamesh it and put it together with the head. So then I work a little bit more on the mouth and kind of like giving a little bit more of that kind of like not angry mud, but a little bit mud shape, and add a little bit more details. And I really like these characters. I have like those details like below the eyes, so I kind of like use the dam standard, and sometimes I kind of like in this case I put my lazy mouse radius a little bit low, so my stroke wasn't that much, but sometimes I put it up as well. So this is what I'm talking about, the bend curve to do the hair. So I just go to my gizmo on my transport tool, get to the gear and add the bend curve, and then I can just with those cones that you see on the left of the screen, you can decide the angle that you're gonna put the deformers and how many deformers you want as well. And each deformer, you see another cones, and those ones you can manipulate the twist, and you can manipulate also the scale of it. So I use that tool a lot. For the eyebrows, I just decided to use this time the topology brush. I normally mask my eyebrows and extract, but in this case I really wanted to have very sharp edges in these eyebrows, so that's why I use the topology brush. I just use draw my topology, then I click outside, that's gonna generate my mesh. Then after my head is kind of like finished, almost completely head, I start moving with other parts of the body. Like in this case the scarf. As I tell you, sometimes I like to take a break of something that I'm sculpting, move into something and come back of what I'm doing. Like for example, move to the scarf, then the jacket, but then I go back to the face a little bit. So it kind of like I take a break and I can see my model or my pieces with a better fresh set of eyes. So I think I can kind of like you start seeing some errors or mistakes or things that you can improve. You just kind of like take a break, working something else, and go back to it. In this case, for the wrinkles, I just use the clay build-up tool, and I just start clay build-up and then smooth, and then I kind of like add some details with the dam standard. Then I created the buttons of the jacket, just as a simple sphere, kind of like a skeleton on the y-axis, and I just cut it in half, and that's all I did for that one. As you see here, I like to start adding colors to have a better representation of my character. And the hair I just did the same with the first strand that I did. I did exactly the same for the rest ones. For the pants was kind of a little bit easier. Kind of like look a little bit ugly in this part. It's just kind of like cowboy pants per se. But anyways, once starting adding some details and some wrinkles, how I see my references, that changed, kind of like look like a cowboy now, but you know, just working the proportions just to see if the proportions are right in this case. Then I use the clay buildup and start building those wrinkles and those folds that has in the bottom of the pants. Something that I really like about this character of the way that I built it is just like it has so many sharp creases and sharp edges, and it was a lot of fun to do, and definitely took my time doing it. I've been working this character for a while already, so I'm glad that it's done, but I hopefully do one the same. So for the details of the collar, of the jacket collar, so what I did was just with the dam standard and the lazy mouse. Put the lazy mouse, the lazy radius, they're pretty high, and you can have more control to do those details. And obviously having a really good resolution, so you don't lose them or anything like that. And to do the color, I did the same, just kind of like draw the shape from the jacket and just extract it out, just mask it and extract. And something that is gonna come soon next week with the new Zbrush is the masks to geo or masks to shape. So you're gonna mask it, you're gonna create the shape right away. So I can't wait to use that feature, and it's gonna be so helpful when you're doing any blockout work. So it's gonna be amazing. And yeah, like for example, like here is for these ones, I think I just did created a cube, and then I deformed it and I duplicated and moved it. So I did like 3 pieces from one and just kind of like moving instead of doing one by one and deform it. I just kind of like duplicate and move. So kind of like in the boots I did the same wrinkle work that I was doing with the pants and the jacket. Then I moved into the belt and kind of like mask the inside, so I can just have like a pipe kind of thing. And then I just use the curved bridge, so I kind of like shift select one curve until it gets red, then shift select the other curved, and then it's just gonna create a bridge between the two of them. So I just avoid any geometry that is inside, and then I dynamesh and clean it up a little bit. And for the buckle was very simple, just a cube, just mask it in, invert mask, and then I drew out the other part that is extruding out. I don't use like this will be like so easy to do in Maya or Blender, but yeah, like I just kind of like did it like here. It didn't take that long, but then you know, like the things like doing in other software, it's all the preparation. So from my last video I just saved my hands, so I don't have to do that again. So I just kind of like put it back and import, let's save it as a subtool, and I just append a subtool, and that's the hands that I use for this project. And for the sword, because he's holding a sword, I did the sword in Blender, and I have a video for next week that I'm gonna share with you guys how to make how was my first experience modeling in Blender. I've been a Maya guy for a long time, and I'm pretty fast modeling in Maya, but Blender is something different, something else. So yeah, for the strap that goes around, the one that holds the sword, I did it with a curve first, with a strap brush, and it didn't work that good, so I just decided just to use the topology brush. And now you can see the sword that I was talking about, and I'm gonna have a video of it It was kind of like you're gonna see my mistakes and all my not good workflow, but you know, I'm still in the learning curve of using Blender. But let's see, I'm gonna keep using it and probably getting more proficient so I can just show more tutorials, more in-depth tutorials in Blender, because I know that the Blender community is bigger and a lot of the people want Blender tutorials instead of Maya. So, and it's free and it's a good software, so I want to get into it for sure. So for those parts of the strap, I just kind of like extract, like draw a mask, extract, and series mesh to get that done. And I didn't get it recorded. The posing process was a long time, but that was just, this is just pretty much, and I'm just gonna leave you with some renders that I did. I textured this in Substance Painter, and also I rendered in Maya and Redshift. I want to get more comfortable with Blender so I can do some renders, but I'm just hoping that you guys enjoyed this video. Please share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I post a video every Friday. Take care, guys, and don't forget to watch my other 2 videos, and see you next week. Have an amazing weekend, guys. Take care. Bye.